Major funding for the Woodwright shop is provided by
When the unexpected happens, State Farm has the tools to get you to a better state. Proud sponsor of the Woodwright shop.
Hey, hello again. Welcome back to the Woodwright Shop. I'm Roy Underhill, and so glad you can be with me, along with my special guests here, Marcus Hanson, Ed Wright.
Good to be here.
Guys, thanks for coming down. They're going to show us something. It is a Hollywood spectacular. I say that because there's some Hollywood in there. It's an incredible piece. We're going to see how to do this a little bit, but what is it first?
The piece actually is a tool tilt. It's designed to store small measuring tools, chisels, and it was copied off of an antique chest made in the 1790s by a Benjamin Seton in London. And this goes inside a much larger chest. So all this spectacular decoration you see when you open up the chest is to show that you've got the chops.
You hired the right guy.
You come to decoration.
Look at this stuff, man, oh man. And this is these on the front. These are drawers here.
Yes, many beautifully fitted drawers.
That's fantastic.
Corey did a fine job. In fact, I noticed that if you just
wiggle your finger?
Wiggle your finger just a little bit like this.
My gosh.
You can probably...
That's amazing.
Try
to wiggle fast there.
It's really
amazing. All right. Well, we ought to turn this thing around for a little bit because you can see the construction on the backside. And the way, this is veneer, though, we're going to be learning how to do.
Yes.
But it's got to go on to a really quality bit of workmanship here on the body there. And there's actually another secret till hidden back here behind the drawers. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Nobody knows what it was for. What was Benjamin Seton hiding his naughty mag? Never mind. All right. But let's tell you what. Let's look at this now. This is what we're going to see how to do. Is this oval work on the lid. Now, Marcus, what's the procedure and what goes first?
Well, basically what happens is you build everything from the center out to the outside. So the oval is drawn and cut out first, and then the stringing is placed around that.
And that stringing, these are very narrow strips of wood there.
Right, boxwood and holly.
Wow.
And then the cross banding is applied around that, another set of 3 pieces of stringing, and then, of course, moving continuously toward the edge and
more.
More.
Gosh, so you've got to do these corners here and make sure that the corners fit to the oval, but it has to go from the inside outwards in order for this to work. All right. So where did we begin?
What we need to do is draw an oval. If you'll move this, I think we can probably.
Ed, you're going to take. All right. So Ed, you're going to show us how.
I'll show you some of the procedures.
Assembling. All right.
Right.
And Marcus, you're going to make some of this material, but first, we don't want to drop this. Now again, Corey, I'll turn it around. Corey Loftheim at the Cabinet Shop in Colonial Williamsburg. This is his work, but you're the guys who figured this out. From musical instrument making.
It's so much like our work. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the
oval.
Oval. All right.
So I have a layout on a sheet of veneer for the oval that we'll work with, and I have the length of it described here and the width. And what I'm going to do this with is this ellipsograph.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful tool. This was made by George Wilson, you know.
Oh, yes,
tool
indeed.
maker.
All right.
And so what I'll do is I'll center the ellipsograph on my markings.
All right. So I help you line up.
Yeah,
you
got a line there.
Okay.
Good. That's good.
All right.
And then we'll adjust it so that our pencil will touch exactly the marks that I've made.
All right. This is great. Now, this is an old idea, I guess. This must go.
Oh,
I've seen
yes.
these in Diderot's.
Oh, absolutely. The tool is quite a fine historical.
All right. And then this goes. So you just adjust whatever is in the right angle to the beam to the length that you want. All right.
Right. Okay.
And then I see you pushing down. It's got little spikes on
little
the bottom
spikes
to keep
to hold
it aligned.
it. And then you do this process of just drawing. Like
oh,
this.
no kidding. All right.
Okay, there we go.
You just draw the. All right, can I run it around?
Yeah, you run it around and I'll hold it.
And there we go. And it's coming around, making a perfect ellipse. Yeah. Look at that.
There it is. Yes. Oh, it's really nice.
All right. Now, if you don't have one of these, what do you do?
Which is quite likely. There's a very simple way of doing this with 3 nails and a bit of string, just a bit of string.
Oh, okay. This
So
is another traditional method, though.
very traditional. So I've got, again, the layout for the length and width of the oval that we need.
That's the width of the. That's the length of the oval, and that's the width.
That's right. Now there's a situation where you need to determine the placement of your nails, and it's not quite as straightforward as it looks. What you actually need to do is to take half the overall length of the oval.
And in this case, it's like 7.5 inches.
7.5 inches.
All right.
Then you take that measurement and you transfer it to the maximum width of the oval and back down to the center line.
Okay, so you make a kind of a hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse
off
of that right triangle.
So
right.
that distance becomes that distance. All right.
And then
do that same thing over here?
Same thing on the other side.
Okay.
And
so
that gives
got
you the exact
2
placement.
nails there.
Then we'll have a temporary nail driven at the point of maximum width.
All right.
And a bit of string, which I've taken the liberty of already preparing, but this is the point at which you would tie the string into
Okay,
it.
so you tie it around those 3 nails.
So then you remove this
Pull
one.
that one.
Okay.
All right, I can do
And
that.
I have a bit of a pencil stub here, and so I'll hold the string tight on both of the nails and move it around just like this. I really like this way of doing it.
It has a, can I do it? I can do it
Yeah,
the rest of the way.
okay.
All right. So again, consistency would be a key thing, not to stretch the.
Exactly. You need,
line
yeah, there's
too
a little
much.
elasticity in the string, so that can throw you off. But you get a
look at
very
that.
good ellipse, really. You get a good ellipse.
That's wonderful. Now here we're working in tulip poplar to lay this out, but of course in the original you were copying mahogany.
Yes,
so just doing this on poplar. But now you've got that's the ellipse. I guess you can saw that out and true it up.
Exactly.
But you also have that very narrow stringing, the very narrow.
Yes. That's a very important part.
Thin stuff. Yeah.
Important part of the design. So I have a bit of boxwood veneer that we've prepared earlier.
Oh, you can't. Now wait a minute. Boxwood doesn't get this big.
No,
I mean,
this
where's
is strange. This is really like from South America or from Central America, this
Okay.
type of boxwood.
Good heavens, it's incredible.
But
This is the stuff. Yeah. All right. Boxwood.
So what happens is that I need a good edge to work from. So I'll
right.
take my little bit of board here, work board, and lay this down.
right.
And I can take a trying plane, which I have set up here,
Can move
with
this
a nice
guy
edge,
out of the way here.
and run it along this edge.
Oh, all right. So using the bench top as part of the right angle.
Yeah, you can run it along like this, and you'll get a flat edge on there, straight edge on there. And then
So it's square now.
Square
all right,
now.
That'd be hard to do otherwise.
and
all right.
then I'll mark the edge with a cutting gauge I have here.
Look at that. Okay, so that has a
see
knife blade. Yeah, I see it right there. It's got a little knife blade there instead of what we would normally have as like a scratcher. There's actually a little knife, and you prefer this for this kind of work?
I like it. I prefer it for all the marking, actually, myself.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
then I'll take it and I'll scribe a line along the edge of my piece. A little hard to see,
Yeah, I see it.
but you
now.
can see it there. Okay. So
right.
then I'll go back and take a back saw. I have a nicely sharpened back saw.
We're getting a crowded bench.
We're getting
here.
a
I'll
crowded
move that-
bench.
move
Here,
that
put
out.
away.
Always happens.
And then
all
we'll
right.
work off the end of the bench, and you can saw this stuff quite nicely. So I'll start out like this and work my way down.
Oh, okay. I got the idea. So you
Yeah.
actually are cutting some. No, keep on cutting. I didn't
yes.
mean that. What I got is that the width. That's the vertical. Am I right? No. Yes, that's the vertical thickness of the piece. Is that right?
This
So
will-
here, this is like your blade is the ground that this is going to go onto. So this would be standing edge up.
Yes, that's exactly
got it.
right.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay.
And you saw down a strip. I'm not going to continue,
Oh,
but
okay,
you saw
sorry.
a long
All right.
strip off. I have a bit prepared to show you the next step. So it's already been sawn out, but it's not finished yet. It has to be quite thin, really. So I've got a bit of
pretty
a
thin.
I've got a bit of a scraping stick. This thing will do a nice job, I think.
And you call this a scraping stick?
You know, the bench tops never do stay very, very nice. They're a problem because
Because we work on them.
yeah, and the grade of people that
Oh yeah, thanks.
you know what I'm saying.
All right,
Your
I do.
your
Okay, but so
benches are
this is
terrible.
something you just keep very straight and smooth.
Very straight through. So this is my scraper, okay?
Oh yeah. All right, and it's just a blade there in a frame. And it looks like it's got. You see the blade there, but it's not all the way flush though. I can't
No,
feel
it's
it.
set so that it will leave, as it passes through, exactly the right thickness of material for the width of the stringing. that
All
you'd
right,
like.
so the recess of that blade is what we're after.
That's what we're
All right.
after.
All right. So,
So then this thing will stop cutting when it hits the exact spot that we need. And I'm going to run it along like this.
ooh. So you're really just running a gauged scraper. Look at the shavings that we got to stop because you see the character of that wood, those incredible little shavings
So
that,
waxy and
that
nice, yes.
makes. That is astounding.
And it leaves the most perfect size material, really.
Really? All right, so that's it. So that'll get everything. So that's the stringing. We got the oval. Am I ready to take this on
Ready
over?
to take it over? I think Ed's got some there prepared too.
All right, we'll get back to you in a little bit here, I guess. All right, so there's our boxwood stringing. Edward, are you ready for this piece now?
This one would still be, for my purposes, a little heavy.
Okay.
So Marcus, I want to tell you, Marcus is so good at this scraping and chooses his wood with such panache that he can work these pieces this thin.
Oh my gosh.
And look what it can
that.
do.
That's astounding. Gosh, and then, again, boxwood.
Boxwood. You need woods that have got this kind of integrity.
That's
to
like
really
cardboard thin.
to do this.
Now, what have you got? This is the
Okay.
oval, but it's
This is the oval.
not mahogany.
It's not mahogany.
You're
We
just
wanted
showing
to.
us.
Mahogany's kind of precious now. We want to
Okay.
kind of keep it there.
That's
So
wonderful.
what we need to do, we now have our oval made, and all I've done is actually spot glue it to paper on a workboard.
So that's not
So the paper's just been spot glued on, and I've just put spots of glue on the underside of the
just keeping
oval.
it from shifting about. All right.
Okay. Well, the real goal for this is just to simply, if I can find my edge here.
You spot glue your spots of glue,
Yeah, let me try that here. There we go.
There
Yeah.
you go.
As you can see,
so it'll come loose there.
that's right. I'm not interested in it gluing to the workboard.
All right, so
We're
this is
gonna
just kind of
assemble-
an assembly.
All we're going to
spot.
do is assemble this decoration on paper.
Nice.
All of this oval work will be assembled on paper.
All right, so that,
Or
but
most of
that's
it.
glue now.
So this is just tacked on
All right.
temporarily.
All right.
And now what I'm going to do is, instead of this wonderful thin boxwood, we're going to go to a little bit of holly dyed black.
Now, holly's the whitest wood of all, but
That's
you
right.
dye it why don't
But
you
you-
use ebony?
Okay, ebony is too hard and too brittle. Snaps. And this stuff, as thin as it is, can be a little bit fragile too.
Oh,
But
man.
we're going to
All
go
right.
ahead and put this on.
Okay, you can take a risk now.
That's right. Now I'm going to need glue.
All right, and,
I've got it cooking
that's what I'm
back here
smelling
on
cooking
the pot.
back
Oh,
here.
I just snapped it.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Oh, have you got another
okay.
piece?
I've got another piece.
All
In
right.
fact, Marcus, if you can grab one of those black pieces over there, I
I'll
can
get
cut
you
one real quick.
This right here.
Thank you, sir. That
All
will do
right.
fine. That
So
will
it
do
is.
just
It's
fine.
very fragile. Then
It can be
You're
very
not, you
fine.
weren't joking.
I wasn't joking on that score. So
Okay.
here I was talking about ebony here.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is take my glue. Now this is animal hide glue. This is basically protein,
wanna know, do we?
collagen. Yeah, we don't want to
Long
know.
molecules,
Okay.
and this is what they use.
This
in
is
the
what they
early
use,
times. All right.
and it has a great advantage of being very, very quick setting
Mm-hmm.
initially. So what I'm going to do here first is pick a section,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and I'm going to take a little stick and dab it in the glue, and put a little here just
Okay.
in the middle,
All right.
okay? That's
And you
all I'm going to do.
Start at the sharpest point.
Start
of
at the sharpest point. I'm going to put it here,
Oh,
and what I'm going to do is put a pin.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I need that brass hammer over here. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't see it until you put the
just
black
drive it in.
piece on. That you've got
Okay.
already got a black piece down and a white piece,
Right.
and
so
this is going to give
I've
that contrast.
And this will get the contrast, your multicolor effects. But now,
Uh-huh.
the step is to now work the glue
Turn
along.
this for you here.
Sure, go ahead. Work your way around, and this way, with this little stick, I can put glue on both faces. Work my way around,
Yeah.
nice and neat. There we go. But I'm not done quite yet. What I need to do now is to work around and squeegee
I got you.
with the stick, just that way.
I got
Okay,
you.
it's coming up.
So you're just taking a little.
Yeah, see the
stick.
glue is setting already. You can see where it's
You're
already
kidding. Oh,
tacking.
gosh, all right.
See where it's already staying there on that
Yeah,
end?
yeah.
Okay, that's all you need to do. Now, all I need to do now is going to be to take another pin and just to reinforce that.
Should I
end.
drive it in there for you?
Yeah, if
Look
you
at
would.
that, already
Okay.
with your brass hammer.
There you go. Great. That's plenty. Just a tap. Just a tap. Okay. Now we're going to come back and do the other side.
All
Let's
right,
move the
all
lid
right.
back there.
Now it's one the the heat and the
The heat and the moisture.
that helps that wood be flexible too.
A little
I bet.
bit. Yeah. But you just have
Not,
to be,
not enough at times.
but you still have to be careful.
But I see why you want to start out there on the point.
Yeah, that's the
Because
most
if-
fragile part.
Yeah. If you
wouldn't-
try to
you
end
don't
your
wanna-
butt joints, you're join two
They're
pieces
always gonna be
together.
flipping out on you.
So you never want your free ends
Believe
at
it
the
or not,
sharp
Ben
end.
Seaton put a couple of joints there.
He did.
Yeah.
Who was Ben Seaton? Do you know
He
anything
was
more about him?
he's a young cabinet maker trained under his father. The tool chest he was making for his own personal tools. And amazingly, we've got not only the chest, but we've got a lot of the original tools.
No, no kidding.
And
All
they
right.
really are. Let me see. I need
I'm
a
gonna
little
hold
bit
on.
more glue right there on that
Okay.
end there, right there. Okay. and there we go. That's right.
You don't
Very
usually
good.
have to do
Now-
this while you're explaining.
Now this, no,
That's
this is
again,
all
but
right.
here's
This
that
is
squeegee
okay.
action again.
Here's the squeegee action again.
All right.
So we're just going to rub gently, 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 gently. After what happened earlier, boy, I'm really kind of
But I
nervous
see
here.
yeah.
See, it's grabbing down.
Yeah, you don't want
It's
to
grabbing
catch
down.
on any.
And you can see how the glue kind of squeezing out a little bit. This looks real nasty now. We'll be able to clean it up a lot later. Okay?
All
And
right.
now we're going to need another pin.
All right, and
Just
I'm
to
ready
put
with
on
the
this
hammer.
end.
Look at
Okay.
this. I like this.
Just right along that edge. Don't hit me.
All
Thank
right.
you. Splendid.
All
Okay.
right. Did I get it?
So, oh, no, actually, that was my fault. I didn't even put it on the edge.
All right. Let's
Okay,
try again.
you're good. Down.
All right. There we go.
All right. Now, okay, saved by the bell.
There you
All right.
go.
Now, the next feature,
All right.
of course, with that technique, we can then put on the light strip, the dark strip, and then the light strip. And you can do this in as many pieces as you need, just butting them together.
Just butt the joint those
Don't
pieces
worry about
all the
something
way
fancy.
around.
That's right.
So far we've got the oval and just some little tiny strips around it.
That's right.
But this
Now
is
we have the
different.
banding.
And this
Right.
is called cross banding. Is
Yeah,
that right?
that's because of the fact that the grain is oriented in a cross fashion. It's perpendicular to the line of the curve of
At
the oval.
right. So it's like this.
Does that make sense?
Yes. The strings are long grain, but this is cross grain and called
That's
cross
right.
banding.
Therefore,
All right.
cross banding.
All right.
So
Anything
now,
like
let me-
that, it's
I'm gonna
cross banding.
move this glue over here. This is
And so
now
you're
we're
not
gonna move
trying
some
to
more.
change the way that Seton did this, but really replicate his
really
work.
try to replicate it, so we're able to look not at the original, but look at photographs. And this is sort of our way of figuring how he was able to pull off this decoration.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So now you got to do that cross banding.
Now we have to do the cross banding. So now we have tulip wood.
Ooh. Okay.
See,
oh,
we'll
that's
show
pretty.
a little bit of that. It's a pretty wood,
Yeah.
but boy, this stuff is so grainy.
Really.
And here's the issue. I'm having to cut on the end grain.
Oh.
You see how small this piece is?
Uh-huh.
We're going to have to bring it over here just to show in context.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
In order to keep that banding perpendicular, you don't want to do this in large pieces because it will look strange.
All right.
So you do this in small pieces that are just going to be tacked all around. But
gotcha.
but you got to trim them for the curve.
All right.
And this means you're trimming for the
Trimming
end grain.
end grain
That's
to
right.
a curve. Oh boy.
Now, Mark and I being musical instrument makers,
Yeah.
harpsichord makers, we have a few
Oh.
specialty tools that are
That's
up our
beautiful.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Isn't that a nice plane?
Oh, and it's
Yeah.
curved in this
That's
along
right.
the bed down its length there.
So
You
by
see a
having
slight
that-
arc to it.
Yeah, having that slight compass curve
Mm-hmm.
is going to allow me to trim that edge nice and neat. Boy, this stuff is tenacious.
Really.
Yeah.
Oh man. But that
There's a good cut there.
I
okay?
see that.
But
yeah.
you can see where the curve of
Uh-huh.
the sole is helping to make the curve.
And
then
that would about fit on a place
Right.
like that.
on a
See.
place like that.
Okay.
We can move it over
So you-
here. Let's see if I can just hold that there. You might be
Okay.
able to see what's
All right.
going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
I see it right there.
Just
And
like that.
again, you're trying to get the edges now. You got
That's
to get
right.
the edges at right angles to a tangent to the oval. Did
That's
I say
correct.
That right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, this is a lot of things happening all together. So once you've got that curve fitted and you know where it's going to go,
Yeah. All right.
now I need to move here.
All right.
Okay.
And what is this? This is your bench hook here.
This
that
is
you
my
got.
bench hook.
All right.
Okay. So trim the edge first to kind of get an idea of the angle first with a chisel. So we're just going to make a
So you're
nice
just
and neat little
eyeballing
cut.
off of your arc there,
Right.
really. All
Right.
right. Okay.
And the idea is to keep the
Inside arc.
seams running along with the grain so that that way the seams don't show by running parallel. Now, what I've done is driven a nail into the bench hook.
All right.
So I can use it as a brace. And then use my plane
This little-
purely
another
as
little
a shooting
teeny
board.
plane,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my
We got
God.
lots and lots of little delicate little tools here.
This helps to be a violin
Because we're
maker.
delicate guys, yeah, okay? So now we can trim, and here's the beauty of this. You can see I can brace against the nail.
Oh,
I
all
can
right, so it
change
becomes a
angle.
pivot point.
Sure, absolutely. So you can just trim nice and neat.
Oh man.
You'll have a clean edge,
All right.
putting it in place, like on this here,
Uh-huh.
and even bringing another piece just to show this may not be, quite so accurate. It's
all
not
right,
bad.
But that's not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So those could start to build up. So you're building up a ring of cross grain,
Banding
just
work.
end grain glued to that band.
That's right.
Man, oh man.
Okay.
So you're and that's why you need that paper.
That's
there
why
for
you
one
need that
thing.
paper.
Yeah,
Right.
hold
So
everything
all I'm
together.
interested in right now will be, and this is where we can kind of get nice and dirty.
Oh, you can do it with your
Just
fingers.
yeah,
All
just touches of glue,
All right.
a little bit there. Okay.
right. Uh-huh.
Let me put that there, right there. and a little bit of glue.
You need some on the end grain too, because you're going to try and glue
yeah,
to the
actually,
banding.
you're right. Thank you for the reminder. Just a touch there.
Well, gosh,
And a
because I
little
mean
bit on
that's
the
all
top.
that's going to
Now,
hold.
I'm putting it on top too because, see?
Yeah, but why?
This can still have the capacity to want to bow across the grain if I put the glue just on the underside.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So all I'm going to do right now is just simply press it on and leave it there for a minute. That's all you need to do. Remember, all you're interested in is putting it on the paper.
All right.
It's not wood to wood. All you're doing is just assembling this whole pattern directly on the paper. And that's good enough.
Okay, and then just fit more
And
and
then
more.
just fit more and more of them around.
Wow.
When you're done,
And I can say you've got your hot glue in the,
hot
it's
glue.
in the water jacket there, so it's
keep it
staying
warm.
kind of warm.
So it stays kind of warm, and we're fine there.
All right.
So when we're done,
All right.
okay?
Let's see.
move
You
this
need me to
around
clear
here.
this guy out?
Yeah, let's do this
Trade him
real quickly. Okay,
there.
we're fine.
All right.
Yeah. Lots of stuff, lots of jumbling around.
All right, so
here we are.
this-
Now we changed woods here again. Like I say, did I say earlier we were trying to preserve mahogany? Well, guess what?
Oh, this is well. These are your
We've got
scraps of mahogany.
Scraps of mahogany we had.
Okay.
But here you can see how we've created the banding. But notice the outer edges are real rough.
Right. That's
We've
not-
glued these on oversized because now we need to come back and cut that outer edge into a concentric oval.
I got you.
And that way
Okay.
we'll be able to attach the light, dark light, the second set of bandings.
I think I
after
follow.
that.
Okay. So you've got to cut this even. So is
That's
that
right.
back to the ellipsograph?
You bet.
All right,
And,
so-
and that's Mark's baby.
Marcus, all right, you have that
Okay.
ready, Horace. All right, and so we got basswood and mahogany on this one. All right.
So I'll reset my ellipsograph. Well, first, I'll center it up on my piece as I did before.
You try and register in the same pinholes.
Yes,
that you
that's
had?
exactly right. Try to
Right,
get
'cause
it
you-
back
you
as
got those
accurately as
little
you can.
pins.
But it is also true, as you can well imagine, that in the process of making cutting out the oval and trimming it, it's going to get a little out of perfect trim. So what I'll do is I'll set it so that our cross bending will end up being something like 3/8 of an inch. I think is about right in its width. You know.
Fantastic. All
So now I'll check it. Yeah, I'll check it. Just to be sure that when I get to the other side here, it's balanced properly. And if there's a little discrepancy, I can
You just try to average it.
average it out, and
Okay.
you frequently see a little bit of change in that.
I'm
in
glad
that
to hear
bending.
you say that there's that fudge factor through this,
It's
because this
always
looks
it.
so hard and like you have to be totally precise. But really, if it works by eye, you're building up
It looks-
eyeball
it
fit to
looks fine.
eyeball fit.
In
one
fact,
after the other.
it's quite arguably nicer that way. It's an old argument, and we'll talk about it
okay.
over beer. Or something.
Yeah, all right, very good. So let me see. I'm anxious. I'm going to get this on over there because I got to see this
Draw
next,
it around
next
just
step.
like this. Right.
All right. So I'm going to go and let Edward continue on this thing because you've still got we've just got a little bit here to
All you
finish
have,
this up.
right? All you have is now that you've marked the concentric oval, and your lines are there. We can saw away a lot of this excess with a fret saw, just to get you down to your basic line.
Wow.
But now you still need to clean that up, and so we need to come back and here we're going to raise the piece up.
Oh,
Here
okay.
comes the
Oh, so
here
the
comes the
plane,
plane again,
okay.
and we're just going to shoot.
Just okay. So that same principle used in making the
Yeah.
stringing of letting the side of the
Right.
plane be a
Like
right angle. Okay.
Exactly right.
All right.
So you can do all your final trimming. Everything's nice, neat, square. Now we're going to take this and we're going to create a new workboard, which first of all has to be waxed down nice and neatly because we're going to use this now to assemble the rest of the decoration around the edge of the oval. Just do it directly on that waxed board, so no glue holds.
I got you.
So
All right.
this outer decoration you see here, light, dark, light, that corresponds to that outer decoration, light, dark, light. Your oval assembly is now completed.
All right.
But we still have one more thing to do. See all
okay.
this work here with the miters and the opposite graining?
What do you do? Fit that into a space?
No, not at
No?
all. That would be way too difficult. So we're going to actually go to another workboard. Boy, I wish it was that easy in the shop. Take our oval, put it in place.
Yeah.
See, these pieces have been spot glued. The miters have been cut and reinforced with glue-covered paper. You're going to put your miter in place. Take an awl and scribe around the edge, nice and neat. You've got your curves now marked on these. You can
you
cut
just
them out.
cut it
They're going to
out.
fit like a dream.
And so just like you said, you start from the
Absolutely.
middle and work your way out.
Work your way out.
All right, but you
It's
still got to
much
work your
easier.
way down a little bit. I mean, it's,
Yeah,
it's
see all
really
those
rough on
irregularities?
top.
We're
yeah.
going to need to take a lot of this down, and Mark's got those tools right
What do you
here.
got? Oh, okay.
Toothing plane,
Yeah.
essential.
So this is like a scraper
Like
with
a scraper
little
with
teeth on it.
many little teeth.
All right.
And so it just ignores everything about the grain, and it cuts up.
I'd be so
flat
scared to
surface.
do that. Oh my gosh. All right,
Yeah.
and then what do you do? Follow that with a scraper?
With this cabinet scraper, yeah.
Oh my
if
gosh,
you will.
all right.
This, I have a bit of a cabinet scraper, and this thing, you have a good hold on it, okay?
All right.
Okay. And so
Isn't this
And
Came
that goes
across
right
all
over the
that
grain.
stuff.
Beautiful
Clean up
stuff.
beautiful.
Wonderful. Marcus Hanson, thanks so much. I
was
sure
a pleasure.
appreciate it.
It was-
Ed Wright,
glad to be here?
thanks for
Thank you.
joining me.
Good to share it with you.
Hey, thanks for you being with us. We'll see you next time here in the Woodwright Shop. So long.
Learn more about the Woodwright Shop and traditional woodworking on our website. You can find us online at pbs.org. Major funding for the Woodwright Shop is provided by
When the unexpected happens, State Farm has the tools to get you to a better state. Proud sponsor of the Woodwright Shop.
We are PBS.
Roy Underhill is the author of The Woodwright's Guide, Working Wood with Wedge and Edge, as well as other books on traditional woodworking, all published by the University of North Carolina Press and available in bookstores and libraries.